This Notebook LM video explores how the Gnostics mounted a radical spiritual rebellion against religious hierarchy and authority. They believed that each person carried a divine spark within and did not need priests, bishops, or institutional structures to reach God. They saw religious authority as a distortion of true spirituality, designed to control believers rather than liberate them.
All right, let's talk about one of the most radical, mind-bending set of ideas in human history. We're going to dive into Gnosticism. And this wasn't just some fringe belief system. No, this was an all-out war on the very idea of authority, on reality itself. And it all kicks off with this just wild question. What if everything you've been taught about a perfect, all-knowing creator is wrong? The Gnostics, they looked around at the world, all the pain, the chaos, the mess, and they thought, no way, the God who made this can't possibly be the one true perfect God. And this guy is their prime suspect, the Demiurge. Now, in the Gnostic story, this is not your all-powerful, benevolent creator. Not even close. He's more like a middle manager god who kind of stumbled into creating the universe by accident. He's arrogant, he's ignorant, and he thinks he's the whole show, totally unaware that there's a much bigger, much more real God way, way beyond his little material world. So yeah, this idea of a cosmic mistake, a fundamental screw-up at the heart of creation, that is the absolute bedrock of the entire Gnostic worldview. It creates this massive split in how they see everything. And this is the central conflict right here. On one side, you've got the real deal, the hidden, supreme God. Totally perfect, completely transcendent, so far beyond us we can't even really comprehend it. But then, on the other side, you've got the Demiurge, the guy who made our world, and he's defined by his flaws, his ignorance, his arrogance. For the Gnostics, this explained everything that's wrong with the world. And get this quote, it just perfectly captures the Demiurge's whole deal. In Gnostic texts, he's always boasting, I am God and there is no other. But see, to a Gnostic, that's not a sign of his power. It's the ultimate proof of his ignorance. He's like a kid in a sandbox who thinks he rules the entire world because he literally can't see beyond the edges. Okay, so if the creator of the universe is a flawed, ignorant being, what does that make his creation? Well, to the Gnostics, the answer was pretty simple and honestly, pretty terrifying. It's a prison. And you know, every prison needs its guards. So meet the Archons. You can think of them as the cosmic police force, the bureaucrats of this flawed reality. Their entire job is to enforce the Demiurge's dumb rules, and most importantly, to keep all of us humans trapped, distracted, and completely in the dark about where we really come from. And the implications of this idea are just huge. I mean, if the whole universe is an illegitimate prison run by a clueless warden, then what does that say about authority on Earth? It means it's all fake. The political rulers, just puppets of the Archons. The powerful religious institutions, they're just enforcing the prison rules. Social laws, cultural traditions, even religious rituals. It's all just part of the system designed to keep you in your cell. So this cosmic rebellion, this idea that the system is broken, it naturally leads to a rebellion right here on Earth. And the Gnostic path to freedom was the total opposite of what the mainstream proto-orthodox church was teaching. It all came down to one major conflict. This chart really breaks it down. See, the proto-orthodox way was pistis, which is faith. Truth comes from the outside, from scriptures, from church leaders. You're saved by believing what you're told. But the Gnostic path, that was gnosis, and that means knowledge. Not book learning, but direct, personal inner revelation. The truth wasn't something a priest hands to you. It was something that wakes up inside of you. And that leads to the most dangerous, anti-authoritarian question of all. I mean, think about it. If that divine spark, that piece of the real God, is already inside you, and salvation is about discovering that for yourself, then what do you need a priest for? What's the point of a bishop, or a pope, or this entire religious hierarchy? For the Gnostics, they weren't just useless, they were actually getting in the way. So, as you can probably guess, these two totally opposite ideas, one based on external authority, the other on inner authority, they didn't just lead to different beliefs. They created radically different types of communities. On the one hand, you had the early church building this very rigid top-down structure. Permanent ranks, bishops, priests, authority passed down from one man to the next, and it was always men. But then you look at the Gnostic groups and, whoa, it's a completely different world. Their roles were often fluid, sometimes they'd even pick leaders for the day by drawing lots. And crucially, women could be leaders, teachers, prophets. Because Gnosis, that inner knowledge, could spark in anyone, regardless of gender.
And man, you can just feel the absolute outrage from their opponents. This is the church father Tertullian, and he's just sputtering with anger that in these Gnostic groups, women have the audacity to teach, they engage in discussion, they exercise, they cure. What he saw as complete and utter chaos, the Gnostics just saw as freedom, the natural result when your authority comes from within, not from a title.
So, in the end, the Gnostics lost the historical argument. They were hunted down as heretics, their books were burned, their communities shattered. But here's the thing. You can't really kill an idea this powerful. The core of their rebellion never really went away. Because honestly, when you start to look at what they were really saying, that deep skepticism of systems, the search for a truth beyond the official story, does any of this start to ring a bell? I mean, think about it. The whole spiritual but not religious movement, that is pure Gnostic spirit. That deep-seated distrust of big institutions, whether they're political or religious, that search for a personal, authentic truth that nobody can give you but yourself, the urge to always question the official narrative, to look for what's really going on behind the scenes, that's the Gnostic fire, and it is still burning thousands of years later. Which leaves us with the exact same powerful question the Gnostics asked 2 millennia ago. It's the ultimate challenge to any system of power, ancient or modern. If you truly believe that the source of truth, of divinity, of real authority is inside you, then who or what really holds any power over you?